channel. I'm Jackie, and this is Jackie Unfiltered ASMR, where calming days are always possible and peace is probable. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Would you please like, subscribe, and share this video for me and say hello in the comments.
Today's session is a story time. This story is called The Lighthouse Keeper's Secret. I hope you enjoy. The sea stretched endlessly beneath the night sky, its waves whispering against the jagged cliffs below. A soft mist clung to the shore, rolling in thick and low, as if the ocean itself were breathing in the hush of midnight. High above, perched on the very edge of the world, stood Windmere Lighthouse. Its golden beam cut through the darkness, sweeping slowly across the water, a quiet and steady guardian of the sea. Inside, Elias sat alone. He had been the keeper of this lighthouse for 30 long years. 30 years of watching the tides, of listening to the wind hum through the stone walls, of tending the great lamp that had saved countless sailors from the treacherous rocks below. He had lived in solitude for so long that silence had become his closest companion. But tonight, something felt different. The air had changed. It was thick with something unseen, something just beyond the edge of understanding. It wasn't the approaching storm. Elias knew storms well. No, this was something else. Something watching. Something waiting. The old wooden steps creaked beneath his weight as he climbed the spiraling staircase, his lantern swaying in his grasp. When he reached the top, he instinctively checked the great brass lamp, though he knew it was working. The flame burned steady, casting its light across the waves. And then he saw it. A letter. It had not been there before. It lay neatly folded, tucked beneath the brass casing of the lamp. The paper was old, edges curled with time, the ink faded but still legible. His breath caught in his throat. Slowly, carefully, he unfolded the letter. The writing was delicate, unfamiliar, as if written by a hand that had long since faded from this world.
To the one who keeps the light, it began. I have waited lifetimes to speak to you.
A gust of wind rattled the glass panes of the lighthouse, and Elias shivered. He turned slightly, glancing over his shoulder. But he was alone, just as he always was. His fingers trembled slightly as he continued to read.
Each night you stand watch, and each night
was something else, a strange familiarity, a quiet understanding that settled deep within his chest.
I am grateful, the letter continued, and I am not alone. The lost ones see your light, feel its warmth. It is more than steel and flame. It is kindness and hope. Keep shining, for we are watching.
The ocean seemed louder now, the waves crashing against the rocks with more urgency, as if they, too, had something to say. Elias exhaled, long and slow. He folded the letter carefully, tucking it into the pocket of his coat. Then, with quiet reverence, he stepped to the great lamp, adjusting the glow. Stronger, brighter, for those who watched, for those who wondered, for those who still needed the light. Sleep did not come that night. Elias sat in his small quarters beneath the tower, the letter resting on the table before him. He ran his fingers over the faded ink, his mind swirling with questions. Who had written it? Who had placed it there? The lighthouse was isolated, miles from the nearest village. No one visited. No one even dared to venture too close. The cliffs were too treacherous, the sea too unpredictable. And yet, a knock sounded at the door. Elias froze. The sound was soft, deliberate, a gentle tap against the old wooden frame. He stared at the door, heart hammering in his chest. It came again, a quiet, patient knock. With hesitant hands, he took his lantern and moved toward the door. The flame flickered slightly, casting warm, golden light along the stone walls. He reached for the handle, paused, then ever so slowly he pulled the door open. A thick fog curled into the lighthouse, wrapping around his feet, carrying the scent of salt and something else, something ancient, something that did not belong to this world. And then he saw her. A woman stood just beyond the threshold, her figure barely visible through the mist. She was draped in a flowing gown, its fabric rippling like waves. Her dark hair tumbled over her shoulders, strands of seaweed tangled within its curls. But it was her eyes that held him still, deep, endless, the color of the ocean at night. She watched him, silent. Then she spoke.
You found my letter.
voice was soft, barely more than a whisper, as if carried on the wind itself. Elias felt rooted to the spot, unable to move, unable to breathe. The woman stepped closer, the fog swirling around her.
You have kept the light for so long, but do you know why?
Elias swallowed, his voice hoarse when he finally spoke.
Yes, it's to guide the lost and to keep sailors safe.
She tilted her head slightly, a small, knowing smile playing at her lips.
And yet, not all are saved.
A wave crashed against the cliffs below. The ocean churned, restless. She lifted a hand, her fingers ghosting just above his sleeve, as if afraid to touch. She was close now, so close, and the air around her was cool, like the sea at dawn.
I was one of them, a ship lost in the storm, swallowed by the waves. Elias's heart ached.
But your light, I see it still. We all do.
For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then she stepped back. The fog curled around her like a living thing, pulling her away, back toward the waiting sea. Elias took a step forward. "Wait," he called softly. She paused, but when he blinked, she was gone. The night was still once more. The door creaked as he slowly shut it. He stood there in the quiet, the letter still tucked safely in his coat, his lantern still flickering in his grasp. Then slowly, he turned back toward the tower. He climbed the spiral staircase one last time that night, and as he reached the top, stepping into the golden glow of the great beacon, he whispered a quiet prayer to the sea, to the lost, to the ones who still watched. And far beyond the cliffs, beneath the silver light of the moon, the ocean whispered back, and if you listened closely, just beneath the hush of the waves and the breath of the wind, you could almost hear it, a voice as old as the sea itself, whispering back to him, "We are here, we remember, and we are at peace." And if you enjoyed tonight's story, it would mean so much to me if you could like the video and share it with someone who might need a little calm tonight. And if you haven't subscribed yet, Jackie would love to have you here. She's been working hard to reach her first 1,000 subscribers. It's a slow journey, but every bit of support really helps her keep creating these cozy, peaceful stories for you. Thank you for listening.